Hello, I,
Hi,
I'm Alyona,
I'm Priya.
and we're dialing in from New Zealand. As you can see, it's summer here, and we're allowed to be in the same room because there's no COVID. And shame we can't be in the same room with you, but at least we wanted to say hi before jumping into our presentation. So I'll just share my slides. So today we are presenting a presentation called Leveling Up Your Insights, how Watercare improved their key customer experience metrics using thematic analysis. But let's start with the introductions. Priya.
Hi, I'm Priya Thurai. I'm a head of insights at Watercare. Look, what I'm really passionate about is really driving improvements in our customer experience. I've had roles in commercial marketing and customer operations, and what I've loved about working in all those segments and industries is the insights I can bring together to really improve customer experience through better decision making.
Great. And I'm Alyona Medelyan. I'm the CEO of Thematic and one of the co-founders. We analyze customer feedback at companies like Watercare, but also in the US, like LinkedIn, DoorDash, and Atom Bank. And originally, my background is in research, and I'm an expert in thematic analysis. But what really gets me out of bed is actually applying all of these algorithms to solve real world problems. So I'm excited to share this case study with you about how Watercare applied thematic to what they do. So here's our agenda for today. I will start with a quick introduction into thematic analysis and how to automate feedback analytics using AI and data visualizations. But make sure you stick around for Priya's awesome presentation that will include not just the story and the results that they achieved, but also a very cool video featuring New Zealanders with less neutral accents than us, and some sights of our city. So recently I came back from a holiday, and the first thing I did is leave reviews for the places I visited. Feedback is everywhere. And so it's a huge opportunity for brands to unlock the value in all of this feedback that customers leave at scale, but very few actually capitalize on it. One of the reasons is that feedback is spread across many different places. And the other issue is that comments that customers leave are very short and they're very difficult to analyze. The words and the phrases that customers are using require complex vocabularies to understand, and you can't really build them because what customers are saying, the businesses and the world around us is changing so rapidly, so you can't really keep up easily. So what I've learned is that customer insights professionals are the ones that are interested in really deep insights are still often use tools like Excel, analyze the data, read it manually, and the customer experience platforms that are out there to collect the feedback, they typically just show word clouds. I started Thematic because I thought there was a real opportunity here and I wanted to apply my skills in this area. But what I quickly learned is that text analytics actually has a really bad reputation. And here are the three reasons why. So first of all, I spoke to market research professionals, and the number one thing that they didn't like about it is that it was a black box. A lot of solutions don't have the transparency into how it works, and it's not possible to change the results and tweak and make the analysis more relevant. And the taxonomies that are created, the vocabularies that I mentioned, they're rigid, they cannot pick up things you don't already know, and it's very time consuming to create them or maintain training data. So as a result, a lot of companies don't opt in to actually use them. So I figured we need a new approach here, and thematic analysis has been already started to trend with some of the researchers. And so we decided to apply it to customer feedback. The number one thing is that it works bottom up. So it's picking up themes in the data, including emerging themes. It's self-supervised, so you don't have to train it. So it's not as time consuming. You can get to your insights faster. And the way we built it is by actually keeping things transparent. So we built a themes editor where an insights analyst can easily edit the results to bring in team's knowledge. And I will show you an example shortly. So how it works, so we have 3 pieces of feedback, and you can see that they're saying the same thing roughly, but they're using very different words. So today it's possible to find algorithms that read a lot of data and then are able to figure out that flight attendant is actually the same thing as crew, the same thing as cabin staff. Yet these are not themes. Themes are more complex, and this is where the thematic analysis comes in to actually find these themes in patterns in the data, assign sentiment to them, and then group them into a 2-level taxonomy. So for example, everything related to bassinet is grouped under bassinet together, whether it's setting it up or whether or not it was clean, what was its size, and everything about staff behavior is grouped together. So this is, again, can be done using algorithms, using similarity analysis, but there might be things that you want to change. For example, how things are named, hard to find. In a store, you probably want to say store layout, or when something is hard to find, correct sizes are hard to find, you can group them under a range of sizes instead. This is where you can bring in your domain expertise to make the results more relevant. And once you're happy with the theming, it's all about visualizations. And unlike text analytics solutions that tend to show you generic visualizations, we focus on customer experience analytics and the types of questions professionals like Priya and her team have to answer from stakeholders every day. Why did my metric drop? Or what should I work on? How should we prioritize? What's impacting my NPS? Or what are some emerging negative trends that we need to be aware of? So this is all from me. I will hand it over to Priya now to tell you about her journey.
So, Watercare is New Zealand's largest water utility. Just to give you some perspective, the population in New Zealand is just over 5 million now, and we serve 1.7 million Aucklanders. Watercare has got the largest asset base, about $11 billion, and a lot of it has been planning and building infrastructure across Auckland to support our population growth. Not just because of COVID, because everyone wants to come to New Zealand, but we did generally we're boosting a net migration. Our vision is to be trusted by our customers and communities for exceptional service. And we take this very seriously because we are a monopoly. So our customers don't have a choice. And so we want to make sure that we continue to deliver a really good customer experience, but ultimately be trusted because our staff and field service crews are working in our communities and in the natural environment every day. So they give us a social license to work in their neighborhoods, on their gardens, on the roads. So we need to respect that. And by respecting that is how we earn their trust. 2020 was an extremely challenging year for Watercare, not just because of COVID, because we had a severe drought. Aucklanders had not had a drought for 25 years and they'd never had to make any water savings. So as you can imagine, we had extremely bad publicity in the media, and also because of COVID, people were cleaning more, using water more, and so we were extremely criticized for, not planning better. This basically meant we had to have a much deeper understanding of what our customers were thinking and saying so we could start rebuilding this trust. As you can see, so we not only use Thematic for measuring our NPS, which is what most customers do, we also use our benchmark NPS or perceptions of Aucklanders. We use thematic visualization tools to help us with that. So we survey 400 Aucklanders randomly every month, and we theme all the open-ended verbatim questions we've got on trust and other metrics that we want to measure. Trust was the key one we focused on, and as you can see, since the beginning of summer in New Zealand, which is Jan to Feb, March 20, we experienced an extremely dry summer, and then COVID hit and we went into water restrictions in May, and we saw our trust decline to hit an all-time low in July. The themes that we saw emerging were that we haven't planned for the population growth, we didn't have a plan, there were poor management, and most importantly, our CEO's salary became frontline news and basically said we were profiteering and, not investing in the right things for Auckland's water future. And what all these themes, when put together and joining the dots, told us very quickly is that most customers aren't very engaged with their utility anyway. And a water industry in New Zealand, unlike the electricity, our water is actually very good quality and 90% of the time it works. So customers only really engage with us when there is an issue, a water leak or a fault, or if they have an issue with their bill. So our contact rate from our customers is extremely low, which actually meant our customers or Aucklanders generally didn't understand what we do and how we did it. So for us, we really focused on increasing transparency of all the initiatives we were doing to bring our new water sources faster and building new plants so we could supply Aucklanders with more water. And then we also focused on what was within our control as opposed to what's outside our control. So we couldn't combat the media on the noise of the lack of planning or profiteering. But what we did do is invest a lot of time and effort coaching our frontline teams and our field service crew on how to have those difficult conversations, how to display more empathy when we are being faced by extremely difficult customers, but also COVID. And as you can see from the graph, the things we focused on is what really helped us move trust. We were also able to do some tailored visualizations for certain departments within our business, like our comms team, for them to quickly see on a visualization, are they reaching more customers? Are they getting a positive sentiment? What are the demographics of the people we're reaching and through what channels? So this helped them build their media and channel plans accordingly as well. And throughout the whole year, we basically communicated repeatedly through mass communication, but also targeted to rebuild that trust. What was also critical over that time, because we were in a drought, is to drive water savings. So we did impose restrictions, which meant during the winter months, we stopped domestic customers from using water outdoors. This also impacted some commercial customers because as we put a ban on hose pipes. And the only way we could really enforce it is by relying on Aucklanders and our customers and our communities to report breaches of restrictions. And we used thematic dashboards to really help us identify very quickly where the breaches were happening and what segments. What this helped us do is really work with those segments. So we worked with the car washing industry, the outdoor cleaning companies, and like nurseries and garden centers to provide them with alternative water sources so they could use non-potable water, which for the average person, I didn't know till I worked at Watercare, is using not drinking quality water, but, collecting water from the rain. And this was doable during the winter months. So we really spent a lot of time doing targeted customer forums with certain segments to drive the water savings we needed. We devised a water efficiency index that was a combination of behavioral and attitudinal questions to measure how much Aucklanders are doing to save water. And as you can see through all that targeted customer engagement and workshops we had, we sustained a 13-point increase in Auckland's water efficiency since we imposed restrictions. We were able to send targeted comms like the how to make savings, not just to residential customers, but we work with hotels, schools, gyms, sports clubs, and the likes of any commercial customer segment that used water heavily. We also asked our commercial segment to make a 10% voluntary savings, which we were very lucky that our large breweries, food manufacturers were able to support us with that. Now, whilst doing all of this, we also had to continue delivering a great experience because we are a lifeline service. So we operate 24/7. And the Folsom field service crew had a really tough time last year, mainly because we experienced a significant number of leaks over the summer of Jan 20 to March 20. And as you can see, our NPS was declining. Then we announced the drought, and it was a really bad look, asking Aucklanders and our customers to save water if we were not getting to leaks quickly and attending them and resolving them. So again, we were across the media for poor management of our water future, but also asking customers to save water while they can't see us fixing leaks as fast as we could. And again, our deep dive on our theming and our sub theme really quickly told us that our customers just didn't know the process involved in prioritizing leaks and the process involved in what was involved in a simple leak versus a complex leak. I'll use a really good example. Is the crew were called out to a big leak, and it was the main pipe was servicing a school, and so the school asked us to not turn off the water till school finished in half an hour. So the crew waited, and then they started fixing the leak and hit a electrical main. Then they had to wait for the electricity provider to come and be there for health and safety reasons. All the while our crew was standing around the site, our Aucklanders are taking videos of them and posting saying how lazy are they, doing nothing. And so what that led us to do is really drive awareness of our prioritization process and educate our customers of what's required in a leak. It's not a simple fix. And sometimes we really rely, for health and safety reasons, on traffic management, arborists, hydrovac specialists, and leak detection to really identify the leak to fix it, which can cause delays. So I'll play this short video to give you an example of what we did.
This is a listening stick. We're looking for leaks, so I could hear noise like this area, like just a little bit, so I'm getting closer. Yeah. If it's on their service line, then that should be an easy one. If it's on the water main, then dig it up, expose it, and check the mains, and that'll be a biggie. We've been working 14 hours daily. Our night crew is doing the same hours, and then just, non-stop.
We've had a leak called in by a member of the public, and they noticed running water. This cross was put here by our leak detection specialists, and they've pinpointed a noise on the one of the service lines running down to the nearby houses. And we've got a lot of trees nearby, so we're going to be using a variation of hand tools, from concrete saws to breakers and good old classic shovel. So we want to try and avoid, when we can, to not cause damage.
We can't just isolate it. We might have to go inside to the street main and switch off probably the block. Heat reacts with the pipes start to swell up. The ground's obviously drying up and getting smaller, so we're getting breaks and cracks and holes and all sorts. Just bear with us, we're just doing our job, Yous are our first priority, so we're trying to get these jobs done.
So as you can see in the video, what we really wanted to do was show our customers and Aucklanders what was involved in fixing these leaks and how hard the field crew was actually working to keep up with the volume we were experiencing in the hot, dry months. So this really helped us build some awareness out there. And then also some appreciation for the guys that were out 24/7 during COVID, when people were in lockdown, staying safely in their houses, because they were out in the community. We also worked with them on creating these really good drop cards that explain the process for when they do attend leaks or when they had to shut the water off, that they could slip under the door or leave in the letterbox. So customers knew that someone had been there, what had been done, and keeping them up to date with what the process was while maintaining social distancing was important. And the other big thing we did, two more, but the big thing we did is actually we were really honest and transparent of the delays, because what we were having was frustrated customers over small leaks, but they didn't understand that the reason we weren't getting to the small leaks were we were attending to the much bigger leaks. And we were really upfront in our IVR and our website and our communication with them to let them know we are experiencing delays, and if if the field crew had been to their leak and not fixed it, why we couldn't fix it, what the complications was. So customers got more of an understanding of what was going on. And finally, it was really about driving staff engagement to drive extreme ownership. So we celebrated what our customers were telling us about our field crew that was coming through NPS survey. So this is our Voice of Customer program. So we celebrated the positive results we got. But more importantly, we also had an internal staff program where we celebrated our heroes that were working through such a tough time and delivering a really good experience, which created a really healthy competition within the team to have their names pop up the next month. And that really helped us drive that extreme ownership messaging to our field service crew. So how we use thematics is, I was telling Alyona earlier, is not just looking at the themes, but where we find the real value is where we join the dots between the themes. And as you can see from my presentation, there's been no silver bullet as per se, but a whole range of things that we had to work on to turn the CX metrics around. And so, yes, I hope you found that useful.
Thank you so much, Priya. So fascinating and such great real life examples. Now we're at the end of our presentation, and I just want to encourage you to ask as many questions as you can. We have another 7 minutes. And also please connect with us on LinkedIn as well. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.